Coach D'Amigos here, Fear Coach D'Amigos, coaching for black men, black guys, what's happening. If I'm only taking on 2 clients this month, so if you're interested in a fear session, if you have a fear that's in the way of you obtaining life-changing goal, shoot me a DM. All right, we'll set up a fear session. Also, go get my book, The Other Side of Fear, that's available on Amazon right now. Subscribe to this video, subscribe to my channel, like my page, share with black men. All right, the topic we're gonna cover today: are you black men who won't let her go? The woman that you're engaged to, you've been engaged to for years, and the woman that you've been girlfriend, boyfriend with for years. But you won't make the next step, the next level of commitment in that black woman, which is either by way of marriage or it's by way of some type of her name on legal assets that you own. Assets, not bills, not the apartment lease, not your car lease. Assets, meaning her name on your bank account. You have a will, a living will that you get from the state with her name on it. You know, her name on your insurance, her name on your assets. All right, that's another form of marriage. You're marrying of each other's lives. All right, it's for you, those of you black men who don't want the government all in your business. You know, if you have an Instagram, if you have a YouTube or a Facebook or any type of social media or credit card or a cell phone, the government in your business. Your information is already out there. Once you get your social security number, you're going to the game, son. Sorry, Charlie. But and in fact, there's no government in the world. There's no country in the world, not in America, not on the continent of Africa, not in the country of China, that you will exist as a man, a black man especially, without your identity being occupied by the government. That's not what this is about, though. Nah, what this is about right here is for you brothers, for you guys who are holding on to this woman and you're not letting her go. You're not letting her go. So what you do things. You got the holidays coming up, so you're probably gonna buy a little engagement ring. You know what I'm saying, to buy you more time. You know, so she can stay, she can be all happy and be like, oh, I prayed for this day. I knew this day was coming, girl. I know, telling all her friends and stuff. And you just sit back grinning and smiling because you know that's going to buy you an extra 6 months to another year before you have to actually carry out, before she's going to start nagging again about, she's going to nag about something, but the crux of it is because you aren't marrying her. So think about it, bro. Like you're a grown-ass man walking around telling people that's your girlfriend. You're a grown-ass man walking around telling people that's a person you with. You can't even put a title on that person. Oh, that's my woman. The fuck that? What the hell does that mean? Oh, that's my man. What does that mean? It means nothing in the grand. Like that's carrying around a relationship, romantic relationship where you all have been around for years. Now, if you all are just starting a date, it's been a couple months, it's even been a year. You know, I get it. You're trying to find your footing as far as how your lives are going to mesh together. I get it. If you've only been together for a year and a half, this ain't for you. But for you guys who have been with your girlfriend for longer than 3 years, for 3 years and longer, this message is for you. You carry her, because here's what's going to happen. Let's say the relationship goes left, and I know you love your lady, you'll never do that to her, blah, blah, blah. Every man that does something foul to a woman didn't intend to go into it doing something foul to her. It happens. Life happens. You do something foul, relationship ends. Everything she poured into you, what's happening, Tim? Everything she pours into you, I don't know, my phone acting crazy. Anyway, everything she pours into you is gone. Everything she invested into you is gone, and vice versa. Everything you invested in her is gone. All the memories, all y'all got is memories, but those memories are intangible. It's fluff. It's gone. It's almost as if it never happened. But the scars remain. The scars on her heart, the scars on your heart, the scars on your conscience, the scars on your psyche, not feeling like enough, always feeling like you're a mess up when it comes to women, when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships, you can't be trusted. Or she can't be trusted because she might have done something foul. Right? So you have to decide to make the commitment. The key reason you're not stepping up and making that commitment is because you're afraid that you're not, there's something about you that's just not good enough for retaining this woman or for her taking on your last name for the rest of your life. Either you feel like, oh man, that's a burden that you can't carry, or you feel like you can't financially be able to be the man of her dreams that she's talked to you about wanting, or others have talked about you becoming, or that they expect you to be. It's always, when a man doesn't make a certain commitment, it's always because of what he doesn't feel enough of himself about. Always the core of it, no matter what entity. So right now we're talking about not making that commitment to marriage. So what you as a black man have to do is you have to get to the core of what is it you don't feel good enough about. And then when you find out what it is you don't feel good enough about, you then have to investigate where did that the feeling of not feeling, where's the trauma attached to not feeling good enough about that aspect of your life? Where did that come from? All right. Now, 9 times out of 10, it is rooted in your childhood, but that's a whole nother story. That's in my book, Other Side of Fear. But that's what I want you to investigate. Why do you not feel good enough? And what about you? What about that? Why you weren't feeling good enough? Where did that come from? What are the stories attached to the times where you didn't feel good enough in that aspect? All right. So for many men, it's finances. I don't feel like I'm good enough to be able to take on a woman financially. Okay. Well, what are the times attached to where you went through financial woes? What are the times you went through when you went through to financial woes?
For some results from a search.
It was hard from you to. It was traumatic for you. It caused you to greatly doubt yourself. It caused you to push yourself down. What were those times that's attached to that feeling, right, of not feeling good enough? Because that's when you start to get to the trauma, right? The trauma of everything. Now, trauma is nothing but high stress, so don't alert yourself when I keep bringing up trauma, or I bring up trauma in my videos on these coaching, because trauma is nothing but high stress. We all get high stress. I get high stress. If you're a black man living in America, you're a black man living in the world, you definitely get high stress, at least on a monthly basis, all right? So that's what I want you to ask yourself about. Then when you come to the conclusion of that, you need to have the conviction and courage to step up and let your spouse, your significant other, can't call it your spouse because it's not your word, your significant other know where you stand with this and why. At least tell her the why of where it's coming from. And then you go out and seek a coach like me who can help you overcome that fear, or seek out a really good clinician, a really good therapist who specializes in family matters, family issues, marital issues, those type of therapists to help you kind of work through, you both work through those kinks together. See, that's the thing. Even though this is a journey of yourself, you don't have to go through the entire journey alone. All right. So you have this conversation with your lady. Make sure you're having it in a way, in an environment that's a safe environment, where she's not gonna cut up and overreact, and she's kind of in the mood to be receptive to what it is that you have to be vulnerable about. That's another key thing. If you can't be vulnerable with your lady, then you might be with the wrong woman after all. All right, because you need a space to be vulnerable. And if you can't be vulnerable in your own home with your own family, then you know what the next steps are. So you and your lady find some help to help walk you through it. And then once you get to the other side of that help, then you can make that commitment you need to. Because here's one thing I don't want you to do. I don't want you to become like many married men and marry a woman out of obligation. Well, because she's been with me for 13 years. She's been with me for 3 years. She's been with me for 4 years. My kids by her. I don't want to break up the kids. It's doing it Stay for the Kids. Rico Love got a song called Stay for the Kids. Beautiful song. Speaks exactly on it. Toxic marriage, but you stand for the kids as if the kids aren't picking up on that toxicity. So Don't do that. You don't want to do that. Don't marry because of obligation. All right, you don't want to be that guy. But you do need to make a decision because you're holding up valuable time for her. Because she's never going to be this young again. She's never going to have all these sacrifices she's given and gave aren't going to come back to her if there's no marriage at the end. Because there's nothing legally binding, obligating her to everything she's put into it. And the same goes for you, God. You're never going to be this young again. You're never going to get back all that you poured into it. So therefore you need to make the decision now, not keep extending it by giving her engagement rings, giving her cars, giving her houses, giving her investments, giving her money. Like, you keep giving her these things to deter her from that vision that she had of being somebody's wife. All right. So hopefully this makes sense to you, God. Again, reach out to me if you got any questions. Shoot me a DM. Subscribe to the channel. Follow the channel. Leave comments. I love the engagement with y'all. Share with another black man. I remember, you had what it took the entire time. Find the courage now.